So here we have the Land Rover, just doing a quick walk around after some work that we've done. So what have we done? Well, we've got our new support for the boot, or sorry, the the tailgate lid. So I've put that on. That's on with Tiger Flex at the moment, and these are the position of the rivets that are going in it. So I've just ordered some Land Rover rivets, and they'll be put in so it looks original. Now, actually, originally there were spot welds, but I'm going to put rivets in because it's a lot easier to do. So I'll bring that tailgate down, and then on the back there, so we've filled some holes in there. They're looking a bit scruffy, so I thought, well, we'll fill them in, and then I'll paint over that, when we finish doing the pop rivets on the other side. And then what we'll do is renew these rivets. So I'll drill these out, and that one there, and then I'll renew those ones because they're on the inside of the tailgate lid anyway. So that's been done, and we've got the if I'll climb up on this tailgate, and then you can actually see I've had Charlotte, my daughter, doing the roof. So that's all. I mean, it's not completely straight, to be fair, but it is a 30-year-old roof. So a couple of high spots here. We've got a couple of high spots on there. These indicate high spots when you're sanding down. It's a couple of high spots. We're not going to bang them in and refill because it hasn't got any filler in it on the roof at the moment. So I'm going to leave it as it is with a couple of high spots. We're painting that and painting the gully along here. So this is now at 600 grit, which is good for hand painting, not spraying. So I'm going to hand paint that in Keswick Green. So that will look pretty good because it's a nice solid looking roof. So that's pretty good. So that's down at 600 grit. That's ready for paint now. So we've got to wipe it off, do the paint prep, and then tack cloth it, and then start to paint. So we've done the tops of the doors as well, so you can see the tops of those look a bit tigery. I call them tigery because they're we see the pattern in a second on the bonnet. So we've done the tops of the doors. These again are at 600 grit, so they're quite smooth. I mean, there's no filler in these at all. That's actually silver. I don't know what it shows in the video, but that's actually silver. That's bare metal. That's bare metal. You don't have to take it all the way down to bare metal because this is actually protecting the door anyway. But some rough bits you'd take off. Mirrors on the wrong way, so we'll put that the right way around. That's getting a new mirrors on order for that because that's a bit wobbly. And I must admit I don't know how to blow and tighten them, so just put a new mirror on there and an arm. And then these side bits, this is where the snorkel was up here, so that's been taken down to 600 as well, so that's ready for paint. And I've taken these off, these things, so these got to be repaired, and then the new seals putting in when it's repaired. That's got to be welded up. And then these are the bonnet, that's the bonnet that we've got so far. We've got a nice smooth bonnet now. That was all ripples. That's it. I think that's at 120 grit at the moment, so it's not quite smooth. And then down here, excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat. Down there we've got a little tiger pattern, which indicates we're good for painting on there nearly. I think that's at 240 grit so far. Now this grill we've scratched it using the DA, so I'll renew that because it's only a few quid anyway. Not too fussed about that. And then down at the wheel, to the back wheel, if I'll just go to the back wheel again a bit. The back wheel's black. I'm going to leave them black. And then the front wheel, some of the paint's come off, so we've actually rubbed it down quite nicely there, so that's ready for paint. I think this is at 240, I think grit that's at. So if you've never sprayed wheels before, all you do is put a load of playing cards in the edge here, and then and obviously mask that off and then spray them off. So they look pretty good when they're done. So they will match the back wheels, which already look nice and shiny and cool. They're pretty good. So that was done. So we've just ordered a new fog light for here. I've ordered a square one, which is original, because this bit of plastic is on holding it because that's split. So I've just ordered a new fog light. This is an LED number plate light, so I'm leaving that there. And then I've just ordered another. Sorry, that's a reversing light. This is a fog light because of that hole's too big in there, so that's obviously split. So I'm going to take that all off and then put a new one on there. And then these are a couple of holes here, so we've taken them out. I've left the holes in here, there and there. They're rivets. And they're the original Land Rover sign rivets, so I'm going to put them back in. I've got the original sign for that, so I'm going to put that back in. And this is all down at, I think 300 grit this is at. So a bit more tiger pattern on the side. And so we've done the top of this door. This door's now at, now I think it's at 600, this door as well. Well, certainly the top is. And some of that's at 600 as well, so that's actually really good paint now. So you can see there wasn't a lot of damage on that door at all. because normally you get this sort of pattern if there's damage. And under here, you get this quite a lot on Land Rovers. Get under there, starting to peel off where the water drips down and gets under the paint. So that's I'll have to go back to bare metal on that. But on the door, it's been pretty good. It's not too damaged at all. Down here's a little bit of filler where it's had a bit of corrosion. And corrosion on aluminium is just a bumpy surface, so we've just taken out the bumps really. There's no real filler in there. It's not really. That's just to smooth out a bump. It's not really a fill bit. Here is where there's a bit of filler. There's about an egg cup's worth of filler in here. So this bit's about, I think, about a mil thick. That is there, and then that's about half a mil. That's about a mil up there. This is a slightly higher spot. These are higher spots along there. So we've got down to our lovely tiger pattern on there. This is actually at 1200, 1500. So that's incredibly smooth. But I've also noticed a couple of mistakes there when I've done it. So try and find one for you. Oh, that bit there is a bit rough. I mean, I know you can't feel it on the video, but that's a little bit rough. So I'll have to take it down a little bit there. And I think I've got a rough bit up here somewhere. And using your fingers is perfect. That's a bit rough there, just on that bit. So the rest of it's nice and smooth. It's probably the straightest this bonnet's ever been, I think. And then the front bit where the badge goes, I'm not going to put a badge on there because I don't really like them. It's going to be a little bit vintage here, but that's now smooth down to 1200 as well. And that is super duper duper. That's a lovely finish, that is. And I think when that's tacked, that'll look good. What I mean by tacked is tack cloth. It'll feel good. So that's the bonnet done. Of course, we've already seen the bumper. I've done the bumper. And that's our jobs done for today. Now I did try to get these seats out. So when I was doing the seats, so I want to take these out and jet wash all of this and then clean it up and then paint it all again black so it looks pretty. When I do the floor and the carpets and stuff, I've got to take all that weird filler out because they've put a floor in there, and they've filled it with this weird filler stuff. So I'll take all that filler off, then put seam sealer in there because that's what it's supposed to be. And then on this seat, I tried to get the seat out. So I've got these bolts out. It's holding by 4 bolts. One there, well, one on each corner. One there, one on the other side, and 2 at the back. And that back little bleeder at the back, I don't know if you can see it now. Let's have a look. Well, the one down there, the captive nuts come off. So I've got to actually, well, I've got to decide what to do with it, I guess. I might have to get underneath and hold on tight onto the other one. So we've also filled the dash. So there was 7 cracks. And this is a common place on the edge of the vents where Land Rovers crack. So what I've done is I've filled these, I've rubbed it down, well, taken a, what do you call it, a Dremel, and then just taken the bump down, because when in the crack, the kind of nylon kind of expands on either side of the crack, so you get this high point on either side of the crack. So what you do is you take it down with a Dremel tool, just so the crack is kind of underneath the level of the dash. And then what we do is we just fill it in, nice and flat, and then sand it down. Now I can rough this up because I'm going to spray fleck it, or flex spray it, so it'll look pretty good when I'm finished. I mean, it looks horrible now because it's all dusty, but, and I obviously don't want to see those big white lines in there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they're all in normal places that Land Rovers get them. Obviously we'll paint this ashtray as well. So they're all in normal places where we get them, and we filled them all in, and when I finally sprayed it, I obviously wipe it down with a wet cloth, then prep it with prep spray, tack cloth it, and then spray it with flex spray. Flex spray is like a dash spray. It's a speckledy finish, or a bumpy finish. It's not supposed to be smooth, and that will finish the dash off. So the dash will look pretty good when it's done. That's pretty good. And then I'm working on, at the moment, I'm working on 2 roof lights. One to go, I'm looking for some, I haven't found them yet, but looking for vintage lights. One to go up there on the driver's side, using a switch on the dash that's already in there. So one to go on the driver's side, and then one to go on the passenger side, just up the top there on that rail there. So it kind of sits backwards. So one working light sits backwards and shines into here, and then another light, vintage light, sits forward and shines forward into there. So that's what I'm looking for. I mean, I'm searching eBay and all sorts, looking for these vintage lights. So looking for them. Haven't ordered new door handles yet, but I will do. Haven't ordered a fuel cap yet, but I will do. And then what I found here is a little bit of a problem down here, which I've got to fix. Is this stuff here is oil. You can see it there, it's slightly damp. Now this hasn't been driven at all virtually, so my hub seals are leaking. Now it's weird that I actually changed the hub seals. Inners, there's two sets of hub seals in here. There's inners which hold the grease into the wheel, and then there's outers, and then there's inners which hold the oil in the diff or in the axle. So the oil in the axle is coming through two seals, and that kind of means my stub axle's gone. So it must, what it is, it's worn and pitted around the actual circle where the seal sits. So I'm gonna have to strip this down, take the stub axles off, and renew the stub axles, then put new seals in again, which is a bit of a pain. But you try the cheapest solution first, which was seals. Didn't do it with seals, so therefore you've got to do the stub axle. So that's the job got to be done. Well, before I can drive it really, because it's leaking oil. If it leaks oil when it stood still, it'll leak a lot when it's driving. So we've got to fix that. So that's our progress on the Land Rover so far. Just shut this tailgate up, just give that a bang. Got a washer to go in there. So we're in and done. And what else have we done? Oh, we'll put some of this, I'll show you on the other side of the window. I put this product in, which was tyre repair, because these were cracked. I'll show you on the other side in a second. These were cracked, these things. Now they're sealed, but it doesn't seat quite as well as it should. Now this stuff was 38 quid a tub, and it doesn't sit quite, I mean obviously I've got to rub that down, it doesn't look very neat yet, but it's supposed to look pretty much like that. I mean, that's a bit of dirt there, but it's supposed to look like that. It doesn't yet, so that I'll be able to rub it down when I'm finished and then it'll look good. But actually what happens is, when it dries, it plumbing falls out, back to cracks again. So what I've got to do is I've got to clean these out with alcohol or paint prep or whatever it is, and then stuff the rubber inside there to form a nice little finish on there. So I'll have to do that at some point as well. So there's the Land Rover, and it's coming on quite nicely. So that's me, Mark. Thanks for watching.